So what are you here tonight doing? What are you doing here?
I worked as a volunteer Monday, Tuesday, and tonight, running errands, driving golf carts, helping people find their way around, making sure people wear masks.
Nice.
Yep.
And what kind of inspired you to be doing that?
I moved to Utah as the world shut down and started working in a remote environment. So I've actually just never spent time on campus.
Okay.
So this was a great opportunity to get to know some people and get involved in something that I think is awesome and important. And one of the ways that the university is just perpetually leading in all kinds of areas, healthcare, education.
I came here to cover the clashes between left and right-wing protesters, specifically the Proud Boys. See, they're out here saying a bunch of racist crap to black women with Wisconsin just now. And just to see what's going to happen here. I'm trying to do, I am a freelance journalist. I was in Seattle for the Autonomous Zone, later known as CHOP. I've been to Portland twice. I was actually there 2 weeks ago for the Colorado Rally there. And this is just my passion, and I want to make a career out of it.
We're here to support Biden and Kamala and to fight for Black lives. It's interesting, there's been a few intense moments between the Trump supporters and the Biden supporters, and nothing's gotten physical. It's just a bunch of talk back and forth.
I'm actually one of the administrators for a group called Civilized Awakening, and we decided to come out here and support the Trump supporter, support Mike Pence, and just get a feel for what's going on outside. I'm actually from Provo, so I drove all the way out here.
I'm here to represent Solid Equal Rights Movement. That's the organization that I'm with, SLRM for short. I'm here to talk about Black liberation and bring the national attention to Black liberation, because even though this debate is happening and it's a huge deal, Black lives still matter, and they're still suffering, and this movement's still going on regardless of this debate or whether Kamala or Mike Pence wins. We're here to stand for Black liberation regardless.
What was your goal in coming here tonight?
Well, actually doing what we're doing right
Just
now.
to talk to
Just talk to
people.
people. We don't really see any other anarchists here.
No.
So
Have you gotten the chance to talk to a lot of people?
a handful.
But everyone that we've talked to, it's been surprisingly pleasant, and they've been very receptive on both sides. So
Yeah.
it's been nice just to talk.
Yeah. We were just approached by a guy, a pro-Trump supporter, who asked why we were pro-Biden, and the fact that I literally have an anarchist A on my sign, and I'm about abolishing to say it shows how politically illiterate I think the general U.S. population is. The fact that they believe that anarchist means more edgy Democrat, and that's just not really the case. So opportunities to come out and actually have conversations with people, and hopefully gain some converts
Peacefully, and getting rid of the idea that anarchists are some vengeful, tyrannical group of people who just want to cause trouble.
Yeah, my purpose was to observe everything. I had nothing else to do tonight, but it's just there's a lot of cringe on both sides, man. It's I don't understand the side with Trump and how people just want to emulate everything of what he's saying, but you know what? He just means the total opposite. Then of course with the Biden side, you got people who are well, I want to defund the police and do all this activism stuff, but the guy co-wrote the crime bill in 1994 that incarcerated a lot of black and brown people with nonviolent offenses. So it's all right then. What are we going to get from all of this?
Those experiences were very intense. I was at CHOP when people started getting killed. When the police stopped responding to pretty much all calls in the entire Capitol Hill neighborhood, not even within the barricades there, and gang violence happened and things escalated, and unfortunately a lot of people were killed. And in Portland, the police out there are so incredibly aggressive. I got tear gassed the first time when I was out there, actually. And here, usually stuff doesn't go on in Salt Lake City, so seeing the Proud Boys out here being very animated and aggressively confronting people, and I was with the SDS, Students for Democratic Society March. Right even here. Undercover cop tried to run over 5 protesters. It was an unmarked car, but he was wearing a uniform. And, that's part of the reason I'm out here, is to film stuff like this and catch violence like that on camera.
It's been a little bit crazy. Donald Trump supporters are a violent people. They are really into agitation. So we run into that a lot because a lot of them are here for the sole purpose of agitation, which is really, really, really annoying, and that's what they're here for. And that's what we deal with a lot, agitation from the right. And so there is a lot of that. There is a lot of just like community fellowship. We're meeting up with a lot of other organizations that are here. There's a lot of grassroots organizations that are here in Utah that are here today. It's not just Black Lives Matter Utah. We like Black Lives Matter Utah, but like there's so many other organizations out there here that we're looking for numbers and support. So yeah.
Well, it's a little more contested than Provo, Utah, which is they call it Happy Valley for a reason. Honestly, from what I've seen throughout the United States, it's been pretty civil. I've talked to a lot of cool people on both sides.
Yeah, just so there's not just Biden and Trump people down here. There's anarchists, there's hard left people, and we were just talking about why they're hardcore libertarians / anarchists, and so they're saying, well, why would you vote for Trump? And I think there's a lot of overlap between libertarian and Trump positions. Excuse me. I tend to identify more on the libertarian side, and I think in terms of free speech, in terms of the economy, etc., he's been stronger, and so that's what I was sharing with them. Obviously, he doesn't go far enough for them, but for me, it's, what do you vote for someone who's going to get 1%, or do you vote for somebody who has a chance? And so I'm trying to be more pragmatic about it.
Yeah, so on this side, it says, why abolish the police when you can just elect them? Am I right? This is just pointing out that Kamala Harris has had a career as a police officer. She's responsible for passing policies that have really broken down low-income communities, jailing drug offenders or non-violent drug users. And so I think that with the last few months of demonstrations about police brutality, and seeing where we are right now with the election, it really is sort of a spit in the face of people who have died at the hands of police officers within recent times. And so I think that in this case, Democrats are really disappointing. I mean, I'm an anarchist, so I'm always disappointed.
That goes the other side. That goes for both sides.
It goes for both sides. It goes for both sides. It's not just the Dems,
yeah.
but it's just it's just blatantly hypocritical, at least in our eyes.
Just the idea of an institution that enforces policies that don't benefit the collective whole. It doesn't matter who it is, who's elected into office. We just don't morally and ethically agree with that and what they stand for.
And you know what? The Democratic Party, again, screwed over Bernie. We should have had Bernie in 2016. We should have had him in 2020. I don't understand it. It's just like ignorance. Pure ignorance on both sides.
To me, it's just entertaining to watch, and it's interesting, but I don't believe that Biden and
what about this one? This one's pretty good.
I don't believe that Biden and Trump can really offer anything, at least to our view, anything really beneficial.
Yeah. Have you guys been watching the debate at all?
We haven't gotten a chance, really. We snuck into the yogurt shop to watch a little bit of it, but we've been keeping up with it just through, like, her mom. She's been texting us updates, and she was just saying, like, a lot of it is, like, Pence talking over Kamala.
I hope I hope some personal records are brought up. Personally, I'm not a fan of Kamala Harris's record, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I'm supporting Pence tonight.
I have not been watching the debate. I have not had a lot of time. I'm assuming that Kamala Harris is winning, though. I'm assuming that Mike Pence is definitely losing the debate. I have not had a chance to look at it yet. I will really, really soon, though.
Well, in California, she's done some things, including prosecuted some people who were actually innocent in some crimes, and she's responsible for those things. And I hope that she has changed her mind on those things.
I have not. I plan on watching it later. I'm not very interested. Like, we all know what they're both gonna say, and it's just like I watched the Trump-Biden debate, and it was just. Can I swear? It was a complete fucking shit show. I mean, like, there's two old white men with dementia arguing on stage. None of them fucking really represent any of us. And I'm not. I'll watch it later, but I'm not watching it.
I am planning on just like watching it from YouTube and trying to get like my own perspective of everything.
And these conversations have been really good, so it's been nice.
Are you guys Antifa?
No.
Well. I mean, being anti-fascist is a choice, and I don't like fascism.
Is that what you are?
And anti-fascist? Yeah. I mean, we should all be anti-fascist.
Who's a fascist? Who's a fascist? Who are you protesting against that is a fascist?
Well, I mean, we can look at...
I think there are a lot of issues happening right now, COVID being like one of the most prominent issues. But I need Black Lives Matter to be on the radar. It has to be important because like we've been fighting for it for way too long, and it's time for a change.
Well, fascism is a beehive of contradictions. So any form of nationalism, traditionalism, conservatism. I mean, you don't need. Oh, okay. So they don't.
How is nationalism fascism?
Because
being proud of your country
because
and where you're from, that's being fascist?
Yeah, it's an aspect of fascism.
I believe the University of Utah handled the debate really well. The COVID restrictions were really good in terms of the testing, the masks, the social distancing, and stuff like that. In terms of security, I believe that they handled it very well as well with the perimeter, all the secret services, the police, and all the barricades and stuff.
And were you satisfied with the moderator and the job that she did?
I think it's an incredible responsibility to moderate an event like this because I really don't know how you're supposed to cut off a vice president or a president.
Right.
So I think it's incredibly frustrating when people do not respect the rules they agreed to before an event. I think, especially because we're a university, asking a question surrounding how education recovers after a pandemic and an economic collapse would have been a relevant question to ask. From kindergarten through doctoral programs, I think this is going to have huge effects on education, and that would have been interesting to hear.
I feel like they were good questions. However, I feel like there wasn't enough time for each candidate to express themselves as much as they wanted. I feel like a lot was left out, and there's a lot of missing pieces. Well, so I'm a Latino, and I would ask them more about how they would help out the Latino community in terms of DACA or immigration and stuff, and also in terms of, because I know Trump came out with a thing called the Platinum Plan, which is a plan for Black economic empowerment, and I would like to see more economic empowerment with the Latino community in terms of job creation and entrepreneurship. So I would have asked them how they would help the Latino community specifically.
Were you satisfied with the debate and how it went?
I thought that the questions could have been better. I think that vice presidential debates are hard because you're not the president, and so I think that it's a lot of what someone else is going to do is, and I think that's always hard, but I think that both candidates did a good job.
It didn't really change any of my stances, but I feel like I was able to learn more about Kamala Harris's perspective and her beliefs and her arguments. And I heard there's research that debates don't really change people's minds, but overall I think it was a really good experience.